All right, let's jump right in. You know, in a healthcare setting, what goes unsaid can sometimes be way more powerful than any diagnosis or prescription. So today, we're going to explore that silent language that really shapes patient care, nonverbal communication.
So, get this. Some studies show that a whopping 70 to 80% of all our interactions are nonverbal. Just think about that for a second. That means the vast majority of the messages we're sending and receiving in a consultation room have almost nothing to do with the words we're actually saying.
And here's the kicker. When a patient hears one thing from you, but sees something completely different in your body language, which one do you think they're going to believe? Yeah, they're going to trust what they see, almost every single time. And that's the whole point. Trust isn't just built on words, it's built when your words and your actions are telling the same story.
So this brings us to what we can call the unspoken conversation. It's this constant, silent dialogue happening right under the surface of every single patient interaction. And, understanding its impact is absolutely critical for any healthcare professional.
And let's be crystal clear about something. This is not just about having a nice bedside manner. Getting these nonverbal skills right has real, measurable effects on patient health and safety. It's not a soft skill, it's a core clinical skill.
And you can see right here how it all connects. It's like a domino effect. When you use positive, nonverbal cues, like actually listening with your whole body, having an open posture, patients don't just feel happier. They literally understand their treatment plans better, they build more trust with you, and that trust, well, it's directly linked to fewer malpractice claims. It all works together.
Okay, so if this silent language is so important, what's it actually made of? Let's break down the 6 key signals that make up this whole unspoken conversation.
These are really the fundamental building blocks. You've got your facial expressions and eye contact. That's how you build that first bridge of trust. Then there's body language and posture, which can scream, "I'm open and listening," or "I'm defensive and rushed." Gestures can help emphasize what you're saying, while the right kind of touch can be incredibly reassuring. And finally, managing personal space, proxemics. That just shows a deep respect for a patient's comfort.
All right, so knowing what the parts are is one thing, but how do you go from just knowing about them to consciously using them to make patient care better? How do you make this silent language actually work for you and for them?
Well, the answer is having a deliberate game plan. In this next part, we're going to look at a couple of key rules and mental frameworks that can help you become way more mindful and effective with your nonverbal cues, right from the second you walk into a room.
Okay, first up, the 2-minute rule. The first 120 seconds are, well, they're everything. In that tiny window of time, patients have already formed a pretty strong and often permanent impression of you. This means you have to be mindful of your posture, your facial expression, your energy, before you even say hello.
And that's where mindfulness comes in. And look, we're not talking about a 30-minute meditation session. Just taking a single moment to center yourself, maybe one deep breath before you open the door, that can help you manage your own stress and project a sense of calm. It creates this atmosphere where the patient just feels safer and more heard.
Another really powerful idea is something called emotional mirroring. We all do this without thinking. We kind of reflect the emotions of the person we're talking to. Now, when you use this consciously and positively, it's an amazing tool for building rapport. But, and this is a big but, if you're not self-aware, you can just as easily mirror a patient's anxiety or frustration, which just makes everything worse and totally breaks down trust. So awareness here is everything.
So, to pull all of this together in a way you can actually use, there's this great little framework called the empathy checklist. Just think of it as a mental guide to make sure you're hitting all the right nonverbal notes during an appointment.
So let's walk through it real quick. It starts with E for eye contact, making that initial connection. M is for the muscles of your face. Are you consciously showing warmth and concern? P is for posture. Are you open and engaged, or are you closed off? A is for affect, your emotional tone. Does it match the situation? T is for the tone of your voice. Is it calm and reassuring? H is about hearing the whole patient, listening for what's between the words. And finally, Y is for your response, making sure it really reflects everything you've just picked up on. See? Each step is a deliberate move to build that trust.
So, all these theories and frameworks are great, But real mastery comes from practice. It comes from getting feedback.
And that really brings us to our final thought. Mastering this stuff isn't about becoming an actor, it's just about becoming more aware and more intentional. So, the question I want to leave you with is this. If 80% of your communication is silent, what is yours saying about you?